Hello YouTube friends, this is Kareen's VSG and this is long overdue update. My life has just been crazy lately. So I haven't had a chance to update at all, and I've had a couple of eventful weeks. So I'm gonna move this around here. Anyway, so the first week I missed, actually, that was kind of a disappointing week for me. Not for all reasons, but for some reasons. I stayed the same that week. I was 160.4, and that was my weight before that. The week before that, I can't even remember the weeks. And I'm not home right now. Actually, I'm going to shut off my car. And so I don't have all the numbers in front of me, but that happened. And so, but that week before that, I had no dumping syndromes at all. I had no cramps. And I was able to eat a little bit more food than normal. And so I think that's probably why I stayed the same that week, because I was actually feeling hunger this time. So, I don't like how this thing is doing this. How do you guys do this in the car? Anyway, so, I'll try to look over here so you guys don't think I'm looking away. We have put we put a purchase order in, or a purchase thing in, on a house of the lady that passed away, that was my friend, and I was the executor of her will. And as a result, we went to check on getting a loan. So all of our extra time has been spent doing that, plus still working on the house. And every waking moment that I am not working with my grandchildren, and sometimes even with them, we have been working on that. I've been there till 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, working on the house. My husband's been there in the morning working on the house. I've been there in the morning and working on the house, because there's a lot of damage that was done by cats in that house. And right now, I and cats would never get along, because the damage that they created in that house while it was sitting empty while she was in the nursing home is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, we're probably going to spend $30,000 fixing this house up. That's how bad it was. And it's just from the cats. They peed everywhere, even with their litter boxes. And every corner is peed in, which then soaked up into all of the sheetrock. So the sheetrock has to be removed. Then we removed part of the sheetrock and realized there was no insulation in the walls. And in Minnesota, you need insulation in the walls. I'll just tell you that right now. And so now we have to put insulation in the walls, which meant then we pulled up all the wallpaper, or the sheetrock off all the outside walls. We had to gut the kitchen completely down to the subfloor because of the cats peeing on the floor. And so it is a huge, huge job, and we've spent every literally waking hour working on it or dealing with that house. So that's what I've been doing in the last 3 weeks. But now back to my weight. There's good news. After the staying the same week, which I was okay with, I was a little disappointed, but I guess that's because it was the first time I'd ever stayed the same, or even maybe, would have started gaining, and I kind of got panicked a little bit, which I think we all do when we realize that, oh, it's slowing down. But I am 5 months out, almost 6 months out, and it's to be expected. It's to be expected, especially since I'm starting to be able to eat a more variety of foods. I have found that I'm actually happier eating like certain foods more often. And the amazing thing is like, those canned tamales that you can get in the store? They don't bother me at all. So I've been eating canned tamales. Mexican food doesn't seem to bother me at all, which is unusual because you'd think it would bother me. I tried Chinese food for the first time within the last 3 weeks, and that didn't bother me, but I was so careful. I did not eat too much of that. I was so afraid that it was going to make me upset because, and I haven't eaten out at Chinese yet. I'm still afraid to do that because it bothered me before, so I can't even imagine what it would do now. And then, and so I've been sticking with like burritos and tamales and, refried beans, I have been eating a couple eggs in the morning, but yesterday I ate eggs and I had the slippery runs all day long, if excuse my language, but it was just awful. So I probably won't do that again. I just had an over easy egg with a little piece of toast, and that didn't go down with me. I mean, it didn't give me cramps or anything, but I just felt like I had to go to the bathroom all day long. And so I don't want to do that again. And then, anyway, so after the 160.4 stays the same week, the next week I lost a pound. So I went down to 159.4. And then I weighed in, I didn't get to weigh in Thursday or Friday this week. I weighed in yesterday at 156.4. Yes, 156.4. So I'm down, I don't even know the total because this was an impromptu moment. I'm on my way over to the house. Right now my husband's over there already, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to stop and record. We've had beautiful fall here. We've had a lot of rain, a lot more rain than I like for fall, but the leaves are falling. And so it's just about over. So I did get out a couple times to do that, but that was just a couple times. I'm usually out every day in the fall. I'm really missing the fact that I can't get out and take more pictures. And we had our photography group here had a Scott Kelby walk on last weekend, so I got to get out and get some pictures last weekend. But yeah, it's been kind of, I'm disappointed that I haven't been able to get out in the woods more. But I mean, it's this year, and hopefully next year I won't have to deal with this whole house thing because we'll be in it. So it is just a sacrifice at this point. Anyway, so that's the news for me, updated news for me. I want to thank Lynn for shouting out to me yesterday and reminding me, or the day before, that they're missing me. Sometimes it feels like nobody's really watching my videos anyway, and so, you know, I didn't make it a priority because I figured, you know, nobody was waiting for me to post. But thank you, Lynn. I really appreciate that. And I'm thankful that you are waiting for me to post. And so I'll get this uploaded today. And then I've been watching the videos before I go to bed at night. And so I've actually been falling asleep to a couple of you because I've been sleepy. But I had about 4 or 5 days there during the week this last week, and I think it's just worry from this house that I woke up at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, could not get back to sleep, and I knew I had to get some sleep because I had the girls coming and all this other stuff going on, and I don't know why I couldn't sleep, but I would just wake up promptly at 2:30 or 3 o'clock every day, every night, for 4 nights in a row. And then my husband and I had a discussion on Friday about the house, and I actually slept through to 5 o'clock on that day. So maybe I just needed to get some of this stress relieved and talk to him about it. So I actually got some sleep last night and the night before. And so I think it's just all a part of the stress. And part of the stress also meant that I was a couple times this last week I was eating too fast, and I had some issues with that because I'm trying to get it in and get going. And I don't want to do that. I want to because that actually causes me to have cramps and stuff. So then I'm in the toilet all day long. So anyway, so this is my update, and I want to thank you guys for being faithful and for uploading and keeping us encouraged. That was very valuable to me, to be encouraged by all of you and all of your journeys. I don't think that we realize as WLS patients how much those who are watching us value that input. And it's hard for me to talk to anybody in my real life about, or my life here, about what I'm dealing with, the emotions I'm dealing with. They don't understand. They just, you know, their solutions are, well, just do this. Well, just do this. And they don't understand that it's not that. It's actually mind and body that is fighting with itself constantly to figure out how to make this work, and to not panic when you gain or stay the same in my case, or to just realize this is a long process and that it'll go as quickly as possible, but it'll go in such a way that you can sustain it. And so I've already been thinking about maintenance. I've been thinking about how I'm going to maintain that level. So I'm actually thinking at this point, my doctor had told me that I could probably weigh about 124 pounds, but I'm thinking if I get to like 120 pounds, because that's what I was for 6 years before I gained weight. If I get to 120 pounds, then at least that'll give me some bounce back. That'll give me some, because I know there will be bounce back, and I don't want to panic when that happens. So if I'm down a little bit further, then I will feel comfortable with that, knowing that I can bounce back 10 pounds maybe even, and be comfortable. So I'm kind of, my ultimate goal will probably be 120 pounds, and then I'll try to bounce back. That's all I have to say right now. I think just keep me in your prayers, because this house is stressful. Construction is stressful. It's expensive. I've tried to cut corners where I could and still get what I want for this house, because this most likely will be the house we'll be in until we die. I can't see us moving again, but you never know. I mean, God always has plans that we don't know about, and so sometimes he changes those plans on us. So just keep me in your prayers. I value and treasure those prayers, because they to me are what I hold on to, and what I know ultimately is the only way to work this out. And so I for those of you who pray, please keep me in your prayers, and my husband too, because this is stressful, and we both think things differently about houses. I'm a designer, he's not. He would put a ceramic bare bulb up in the middle of the room and be happy with it, and I want a beautiful lamp. And so those issues are coming up as this comes along, and he tells me to make decisions, and then when I make the decision, he questions me on them, and then we have an argument. So we're working through it. I explained to him that I need this to be a beautiful house, not just a utilitarian house, and I think he understands that. And being an artist and a photographer, this is very important to me, that it looks a certain way, and that it feels a certain way, and that it's welcoming to other people that come in, because that ultimately is my goal, is to make this a welcoming place to be. So thank you all for your thoughts and your prayers, and I will hopefully be able to update this coming week. I will try to weigh in. I've been finding that Thursdays are a terrible day to weigh in, even though Thursday was the anniversary of my surgery. I'm thinking Thursday or Fridays are a much better day. I always think about it on Friday morning and never on Thursday morning. So Friday morning I will probably do it, or Sabbath morning if I remember. And so I just don't have the girls on Saturday morning or Sabbath morning. So, you know, I'll probably, so don't panic if I don't post on a Thursday, but I'll try to get it posted at least before the end of the weekend. And so just before we go, I'm going to give you a little piece of, I'm going to turn this around and give you a little piece of what the fall is looking like here in Minnesota. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong place. Maybe I can't turn this around when I'm videoing. I thought I could. So anyway, here, I'll whip the camera around. So that's what fall is like here, and we're just about done with it. So the reds here in Grand Rapids are unbelievable. They have a lot of maples here, and so the colors have just been great. I wish I could have stopped someplace where I could have shown